Today I'm going to be messing with the Virus TI. This little unit. It's a dual wavetable situation. And it comes with its own VST that looks like this. So it has these different tabs where you can tweak the different parameters. And here's the browser, and I flipped and I found this preset. And I thought it could be a cool addition to this track that I was working on. So I have a MIDI bass line here. So I'm going to try that on this Virus TI in a new section. And I'll go ahead and duplicate the drums. So that's going to be an octave too low. I'll consolidate this, go in here, Control A to select them all, Shift up arrow, up an octave. Up 2 octaves. Not quite sure why we're not getting audio, but I'm going to put this in the bass group. Oh, this group's turned off. Oh, this group's turned off. Okay, here we go. These notes are a little strange. I might come up with something else. Let's hear the first part of this beat again. All right, let's go something like that. I had these other basses on this whole time. This more as a fill bass. So let's do something radical. Let's just mute all this. Let's mute all this. Let's go in this direction instead. Let's see what we can do with this melody over top of this. Alright, so I'm going to throw some of these basses I muted in a sampler instead. So let's get a sampler out by Control-Shift-T to make a new MIDI track. Oh, I have one loaded default already, so I'll just drag it in here. And let's fill in some of these holes right here. Alright, I wanted to record that other preset more. That was much cooler. That is just such a crazy virus, Reese. Like, the Reese virus is just nutty. I'm gonna fucking save as, though, because this is a new beat now. So let's call it... Oh shit, I've been dating stuff as July all day, but it's August. I totally blanked on that. Had it, I guess, when I started this yesterday, though. Call it virus... Snow Reese. Alright, let's make like an intro for this. Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to bounce some things out. Let's bounce this out. Let's bounce this out. Let's bounce these out. So I'm going to take audio from drums, turn the channel off so I don't hear it. I'm going to take audio from the bass, turn the channel off so I don't hear it. I'm going to take the audio from the upper tonal stuff, turn it off. Now I'm going to record enable this, hold control, and I can temporarily group record enable, so I'm going to select multiple channels. This is only when you have ARM exclusive preference. enabled. What that means is you arm one and it unarms the other one. So I can arm this and then this. If you have it turned off, you can see all the time. You can just do it. But I like having arm exclusive preference enabled so that I arm one, and then if I arm a different one, it'll turn the old one off automatically and then hold control instead to group, because I do this less. So let's record these three things. Let's see, what is over here? Jesus, that sounds bad. Alright, maybe we'll just mute this for now, but I might use that. So then I guess we can just record from like the pre-drop.
Yellow.
Alright, so the reason I did that is so we can make an intro. So I'm going to load up a granulator 2. Oh, first thing I wanted to do is just kind of reverse these tails into the vocal. Check this out. You can just take the tail, kind of reverse it into itself, and then I like to turn it down a little bit.
Yellow.
Why can't I hear this? Oh, I turned the channel off. So we can take this bass now, and I think I'll start with this for the intro. So I'm going to get a granulator 2 out and put that on here. I'm going to toss this STEMI into the granulator 2. Let's do a kind of a octave or two above the root, so C5 maybe. Stretch it out. All right, I'm gonna turn the scan on, and I'll turn the scan up to like 500 or 600%. Let's try 684. Alright, so what I'm going to do is independently filter this reverb and this sound at the same time, and I'm going to use the Morph EQ. So we're going to grab a Morph EQ, and I'll put it after this, and we're going to want a high pass and a low pass, and then let's put another Morph EQ over here, so I'll duplicate that, and now we have two different chains, so we have the reverb here, and we can make that now fully wet, and then I'll turn it down a bit. So now our dry wet knob is this chain volume, so I'm going to automate the reverb to come in over time like this, and then cut to silence. Alright, so I want this to kind of filter in. So let's start with the morph knob all the way up, and let's come in with each of these filters. So now I can use one knob to just band pass filter this in. Isn't that nice? And then let's band pass it back out at the end. And I'm going to go ahead and actually duplicate that onto the reverb and replace that other Morph EQ just to save a couple seconds on automation. Alright, so let's do something interesting with these drums. We did bounce the drum group out, did we not? Yes. So we have these drums now bounced out. So let's maybe delete these intro drums up until like maybe here for now. And let's put these other drums. And let's see what kind of cool stuff we could do here with envelope followers in the Morph EQ. So let's get this. I'm going to put a Morph EQ on it. So let's see what we can do if we take some max LFO, or actually a max envelope follower. And let's put that on this drum signal. And let's put it before the Morph EQ. And that way it's taking the incoming signal before we filter it. And then let's map this to the, let's map it to the morph at first. It's getting a little clippy there. I'm just going to get an Ableton compressor and see if that fixes that. And then I can also just go in and turn these down here. Like this. And that'll probably fix it as well. Alright, so that's sounding pretty cool. I'm going to get one of my favorite plugins out, the Convology XT. This is a free plugin. It has this cool reverse function. So check this out. We can put the mix fully up and listen to this drum kit. And I'm actually going to also consolidate this drum loop. Control J. And let's also freeze it first. So I'm going to turn the convolution off, freeze it. Alright, let's copy it, paste it on a new channel, unfreeze it, take the Convology XT, put it on this channel. Now let's get a cool delay that's like a reversey delay on this. And let's go in here, and in here we have different reverb algorithms. And before we do this, we're going to want to, or I'm going to want to reverse this entire audio clip. This is going to be interesting. So, but let's also reverse the reverb tail. So let's go reverse here. So we'll kind of re-reverse it, and I wonder if I guess the drums, the main dry drums here will also be kind of lined up differently. So now check this out. Listen to this. So I'm gonna freeze this and get some of these cool tails. So then let's flatten it and re-reverse it. So I think it's a little early. So let's see. So there's the snare and there's the reverb for the snare. So let's put that reverb right before the snare. So to get the effect I want, it's going to take a little bit more surgical editing. So I'm going to go in here and Control E between every single one of these. Just like this. Only take a second. And I have automatic fades on. I recently turned that on. Just because I find myself doing more audio editing these days, and I found this to be a good way to avoid a lot of pops and clicks. So by default, all of these have little fades between them now. And what I'm going to do once I'm finished with this is I'm going to select the last one, go over here, select the first one, and then just hit R, and it'll reverse them all. And then I can go in and kind of use Control Shift to shift these around so that they're before. So let's put each one of these so it's kind of swooping in to the next one. I think this will sound okay. Let's see if I have the right thing going here. It sounds kind of trippy as is. What if this had a Rift on it and we used Rift's resonator? Alright, I'm going to put these in secondary drums here, and let's make a kind of a build-up kick drum. So let's get out a phase plant and make some sort of weird kick drum sounding thing. I'm going to go for simple oscillator, and let's get an audio clip, or MIDI clip I should say. Let's put a note.
Yellow. All right, yellow. All right, yellow. All right, yellow. All right, yellow. 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 All right, yellow.
Alright, let's try having some of this bass in the intro.
All right, yellow. All right, yellow. All right, yellow.
I'm gonna get another granulator out, and let's go back to this intro a little bit and create some sort of granular, or actually, you know, I could just use a warp mode. Let's use a warp mode on this vocal, and let's just really stretch it out. Let's stretch it out a bunch. So let's grab that, and I'm gonna put it on an audio channel. And if we go into the clip, we can just hit this ×2 button a bunch of times, and we'll stretch it out all the way. So I'll turn the flux all the way down, the grain size all the way up so we have a full window to work with, and then enlarge this envelope section and select the grain size right here. I'm going to automate this. I'm going to automate a little bit of shimmer here to come in at this part and then goes kind of away but then comes back even more.
White, yellow.
Let's see what was up with that Reese bass that we recorded. What was the deal with that? Whoa. I'm gonna put this in a sampler so that I can easily, so it's a little easier to control a bit of it. And let's get our MIDI that we used and put it on that. Alright, that sounds like the right note. I'm going to pitch it down an octave. That's a nice one. Take this bass line and also low pass it and kind of high pass it a bit so that I weaken the sub.
Yellow.
I think we'll put new sounds in these holes, but I'm also going to do a little pitch bend on this. And then for this one, let's duplicate it, mute the old one, and then let's change it to the other part of the sample that had the filter more open. Alright, this is pretty cool. I'm going to sample this and then maybe granulate it to make some cool sounds, but I might take a break.
Yellow.
Alright, so I left that hole so that we can... Oh no! What the hell? Oh, cancel. It's because I have it record enabled. Interesting. So if you have something record enabled and then you freeze it, it'll flatten that record enabled track. Is that what that means? That would be cool. Crunch. Alright, so let's get a granulator 2 out. Here we go. And let's play around with this. Okay, so what I did the other day was pretty interesting. I'll do that again. I just made like a C3 note. And then made sure to like cut it a little bit short for the release tail. And then the key is the expression control. So the expression control lets you like randomize, and you can map the randomization to the file position. So let's take a random and map it to the file position and attenuate the range slightly, and let's record some of this. So I'm basically just going to start messing with the other parameters while I loop record this with a muted channel. Oops, I'm not loop recording. So let's get like a shorter loop too. So I'll just shorten this MIDI clip. All right, that should be enough. So let's go in here and make a new audio channel. I'm gonna put it right here. Let's get both of our audios and put them over here. And then let's get a sampler out. I have one loaded by default. Put that in there. Now we have a little chop. Let's get another for the longer chops. And let's put some things in these holes I left. So we could put one here. Maybe try this one. Maybe go from one to the other. Is this the wrong sample here? This seems short. Let's go for this one. This has more in it. Let's duplicate this one instead. I'm going to turn these up a bit more. And then let's do another one on the downbeat. If we layered an 808 under this, that might be nice. I just put out a sample pack last month with some nice juicy 808s. Let's get one of those. Put some things in that hole too. So let's see. Let's put one of these. Oops, I should have duplicated. Duplication saves a lot of time. So let's get this. Could put another little tiny one right in between that and the snare. And another one here. Dude, this is sounding crazy, huh? I'm stoked on this. Okay. Now we have some cool glitches in there. And yeah. This is a good track. I'm gonna finish this. Put this out. Some weird, like, shades type beat.
Yellow.
Damn, that shit goes off. It's like a weird amount of drop, though. Oh, yeah, it's like, what is that? 16 bars? I think let's try cutting this out. This might help. Let's try that. Yeah, that's better. Alright, I know I didn't mess with the virus at all, but I'm done for today. I guess this was just a normal Beats video. But it's like 1 in the morning, so till next time, thanks for watching. Love you all. Peace.
Yellow. White, yellow. 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 Yellow.